Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, I am doing this live just so you can see that I'm not cheating with who the winners of the 25 days of DAX Fridays challenge is Friday late. Horrible time, but anyway. Okay. So we are going to find the winners 25 days of DAX Fridays style. Are you ready? We're going to go to the, let me see, entire screen. Let me see if I can share my screen. Hopefully you can see it. I'm going to move this over there. And this is the Power BI file that you probably recognize where we were tracking the results. So here are all the tables that I have. We're going to go to the DAX query editor and we're going to write some DAX. So this is how it's going to work. I cannot see the chat now, so if I'm not answering your questions, that's why. So we're going to first create a table which is going to contain, if you remember the rules where that you have to do the 25 days and you have to do it on time, I'm just going to stick to 25. You have to do 25 or 24 days. I saw there were like 5 people that did 24. So they had like one missing in the middle somewhere. So I'm going to do both. So we're going to have a table that is going to be first summarized the form responses. This is where I collected all your answers. And there is a column called users, which contains your username. And then we're going to add a, maybe I should put it in here. Let me, we're going to add the count of answers. And this is going to be count of form responses answer. This is the column that collected the answer. And then we're going to return our table so we can see. I'm not sure why it is complaining already. What am I doing wrong? Let's do it like that instead. Right. Lovely. Okay, so now we have the table with all the users and all the answers. Now we only want to have filter the users where the count answers were bigger or equal to 24. So this should narrow the list a little bit. There we have a 25 and 24. And then I was actually thinking to use sample to get a sample of these, but sample does not give you a random sample. Who knew? So I cannot use random. So I'm going to use add columns. And I'm going to add a round column, like a random. I'm going to call it rand. And it's going to be rand, like that. So this will add a random number to each user. You'll see it now. You can see it there, right? And now we're going to do a top n. The top is going to be the top 3 of this table based on rand. So, fingers crossed that it works. Are you ready? And there we have our winners. Let me take a picture so I don't forget them. Because if I click run again, it's going to give me 3 new numbers, which don't want that. Okay, so we have Crispy, Malak, Felipe, and this is Arguello Bernat. Lovely. Stop sharing. And where are you guys? There. You can't see anything? Oh my God. You couldn't see? I don't know how you're... We cannot see. Oh no, we cannot see your screen. Yeah, now you see me, but you don't see the screen. Oh my God. What a bummer. It said it was sharing the screen. I can share it. The thing is that I just have one screen. I'm at home, so I cannot see both. He's sharing the window. Stop sharing. Oh, you can see it? Now we see it. No, it's fine. We just see you. No, but me. That was not the purpose. Okay. The thing is that if I do it again, we will get new winners. Okay, so I will show you the screenshot that I took with the winners, even if you didn't see it. So now for the second part of these, I obviously heard the feedback that I get from running the third edition, mostly similar to the first edition and the second one. I guess it was easier for football because it's perhaps more targeted questions for business. Things mean a lot of things. Yes, Monica, you're definitely all the winners for doing that. I mean, it's not easy to do, but it's not easy to participate either, and it's not easy to do all 25 days. That's for sure. That's really for sure. But I heard the feedback actually that especially this year, I guess it was a lot on how the questions were formulated, on the ambiguity of the words, and I thought that created a glossary. It was going to be a little bit better, but I guess maybe it helped a bit, but not quite. So if you have any suggestions about things that you would like to see if I do it this year too, then just let me know in the chat and I will try my best to follow the suggestions. It is, depending on the industry, I saw it quite many times that when I was asking if something was late, for example, for the suppliers week, different business have different definitions of where something is late or when something is on time. Should something that was delivered earlier, is that on time or not? Some people were saying, no, in my business it is, and other people were saying, in my business it's not. And I think that's why it's so important to actually ask for clarification to see, okay, what were you thinking when what are the rules? And of course, I can try to anticipate what your, what are the things that might make you doubt about what the question is asking, but it's actually quite hard because when I am actually doing it, I'm just, for me, it's clear. But obviously, when I ask somebody else, then that's when the questions arise. Uh, Include examples like we are used to different clients with the questions. Has many, yeah, exactly. Exactly, that's the thing. And we need to know exactly what the interpretation should be. And it's extremely hard to make a question not ambiguous. Then it should be like very, very, very long. Which basically means that I would need to change the format of everything because the 25 is a little box with some text, and there's not a lot of place to write anything. Obviously, I could write like 1, 2, 3, and then the question somewhere else. But I don't think that will kill the ambiguity, though. If you're talking about revenue, is it revenue before you put like transportation, or after, or is it before that or after, or is it there's like a million ways you could calculate things. And if I actually explain exactly what I mean, then I'm giving you basically the DAX. So I don't know. Thanks, Alberto. I appreciate it. It was, the first 2 weeks were quite rough with all the complaints, but then I think when everything was settled and people understood the rules, then it got easier for sure. But yeah, so I don't know, maybe you don't have a lot of feedback to give. Maybe you were content with how it went. Maybe the people that were not happy are not here anymore to give the feedback of how it went. But I will try. I don't know, maybe I will change the format completely, or maybe not do it about business related. Which one would you prefer? Did you like the business related or the football related better? Maybe there's a delay. No. I understood why you were asking the questions actually, and that's when it hits me like, oh, I did not explain that correctly. When you come to me and you say, what do you mean exactly with revenue? What do you mean with on time? It's like, or do you mean this or that? And then, oh, sure, I didn't think of that. So it's actually, one thing I could definitely do is to prepare everything, give it to some people to ask me the hard questions, and then that will help. But obviously we will not cover all the questions anyway, and then it will destroy the challenge for some of you if you want to help me. So I don't know. It is a DAX bootcamp for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I really think it was very interesting for me also to see how one question, could be interpreted in so many ways. I know that you didn't see all the questions because I got a fair amount of questions, but in private chat. But it is actually quite interesting to see one question led to so many interpretations and then to so many DAX functions. Like it's amazing to see how versatile DAX actually is. And a lot of the stuff, were different, they still produce the same answer. I have a question. Why the most of the top 10 participants are from Barcelona? Yeah, why is that? I know your secret recipe, though. Exactly. Bernard said it. You were doing it together. You were helping each other uh, to interpret the questions, I guess. That's probably why you do so well. uh, Maybe they think that I'm cheating. I give you an advantage. We will talk about different ways to understand the questions. We have the rules. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we track the answers. Oh, there was also on Reddit, because this year I didn't do it on Reddit, but maybe you were discussing it on Reddit too. Yeah, another thing that was a bit painful, it was, I have like the questions on YouTube, and then the questions on LinkedIn, and then there were questions on email, and then there were questions. So for the next challenge, it should be one forum. So I can get all the questions in the same place. They are all public, and everybody can benefit from them, I guess. But I mean, ideally, it would be great if this could work by itself. That's always been my purpose. Launch it, and then it just, corrects itself, it scores itself, but three seasons, and still it's not doing it itself. Probably will never do, to be fair. I was looking at, I don't know if you've ever done it, the 100 days of code. No, like the Advent challenge, I think it's called. So how like it's like 25 days from the 1st of December, I think, to the 25th of December. And they have like coding questions. And as far as I understand, nobody is giving any feedback or anything. So I guess they're doing a very good job to actually explaining what the challenge is, what the question is, so everybody can solve it without having any additional help. So I'm going to look a little bit more into that to see. But their question is probably like I don't know, 100 to 100 words for each question. So. Maybe you can work something out worth or with the SQL BI guys. Yeah, I love your visualizations, Alberto. It was so good. It was really, really nice. I prefer a long question over a vague question. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I can use you next year to foolproof the question. Yeah, no. Regarding the SQL BI guys, probably. I mean, I think this is too easy for them. They will get bored pretty easy, I think. pretty quickly. I mean, the purpose is to make them the DAX like easy to a little bit intermediate, to have like some questions that are a bit harder to do, because we all have enough complicated DAX. We don't need anymore. To build a challenge platform. Oh, Java platform. Oh my god. Yeah, maybe. Maybe ChatGPT can do it for me. Create the questions and everything. We need harder DAX questions, not so similar. Yeah. You know, one of the challenge for me this season 3 was that I was using the north wind, and once you've taken out 25 questions, then you have to take 25 more, and they were like, "Ugh." So I understand that this challenge, maybe it was not as challenging as the first one and the second one, so probably need to change the data set altogether. We tried to see who could build the slowest measure. Yeah. No, the model is way too small. We need to have it a lot bigger. I remember, Brian, Julius, they had this no calculate practice where they tried to use the DAX things without calculate. And they were measuring actually for season 1, I think it was, the speed for each calculation, calculate and no calculate, and the difference was not there just because the model is so small. So yeah, we need a bigger data set for sure. Yeah, time intelligence. Yes, I did time intelligence on season 1, and the problem with time intelligence is that if you have a data set that is on the past, like Northwind, for example, is the time intelligence gets a bit weird because everything is mostly up to today's date, like you do sales this year versus current year, or like same period last year. So what I did is I moved the Northwind data set so it will update every day, and you will get a today's date every day. And the problem with that is that people forgot to refresh. So they were getting everything was correct, but they didn't refresh the data set, so the answers were different. So that's why I didn't put any time intelligence, because I thought like, oh, people are going to forget to refresh again, and then we're going to have a huge mess. Which wasn't, I think, for season 1 the biggest issue, that people forgot to refresh. So it would have to be in that case a live data set. Do you guys know what live data set that is publicly available? I'm not sure. Not sure. If you know, let me know, because that would be the easiest one. There's still people have to refresh, but yeah, that is just another thing with that. Now that I remember why I decided not to do it on season 3 is because the solutions are, is actually on calculating. Well, actually, I changed it. It's actually calculating live, so that would work. Yeah, no, that's not a problem anymore, because in season 1 it was not. I was hard coding the solutions, which was not great. Cards are fine, but we need more visualizations or DAX squares. What do you mean with more visualizations? Like, not sure. What do you mean with that? Maybe I can have the Barcelona team pre-shoot the 25 days. That's right. If you guys can make it, then anybody can. Not seeing any. I don't know if they got stuck at top chat with live chat. Maybe Bernard means build questions. Oh, so that you don't get the results on a card, that they get like. But how do I validate that automatically? The only reason why it is a card is because I can put the answer, um, on a DAX measure and then validate it. So I can score you. Otherwise, if it is like a bar chart, I mean, everything's possible, but it would be a huge pain. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It would be extremely difficult to score. Yeah, exactly. So just to be able to do first, when I'm doing, when you enter the data into the form, it goes into an Excel spreadsheet, and then the Excel gets read into Power BI, and then Power BI compares. This is the answer that it should be, and this is the answer that it gives, and then it gives a score automatically. So I don't do anything. And I can only do that if it's number of text. But if it is a visualization, it would be impossible for me to score, unfortunately, automatically. So, I mean, you can always take a view. You could probably do stuff with Python, but it would be a mess, I think. So I understand what you mean, but not sure how that would work. So I'm not sure. I think for the next challenge, if I have the time to do it, it's always a condition of time. I'll try to find another data set for sure. And try to have better questions. It's tough to find so many questions on one data set. Even if I change the data set, I mean, the business questions are quite similar. It's actually easier if I would, pick like a different type of, like, for example, the football data set. It was a lot easier to find questions about that. And you guys had less problem interpreting the questions also. Like, who was the biggest scorer? You know what to do. So maybe it doesn't have to be a business data set anymore. That will be a bit more fun for me too also. But yeah. Yeah, okay. So I will write the winners to the video chat in here, and then I will put them also on LinkedIn. So if you are one of the winners, just contact me and let me know which course you want to have, and I will give you access. It's as easy as that. And I hope that if I do this again, I'm able to do a better job with the questions. That's, I think, the biggest thing. And then hopefully you enjoy it. At the end of the day, I think for me this is just so people is not scared about DAX anymore. And I think this time it was a bit, the first time I did it and the second time I was using like different ways to do it. This time I wanted to stick to one way, just so you would get a pattern. Like, this is one way that you can use to work with DAX that works fairly often. But it got boring, I think, for many. It got boring for me at the end. You can see it on the videos that I was doing it like fast, because once you figure out what you need to do, then to actually put the DAX together is actually very easy. So I can understand, why you thought also that the questions were easier, because once you get that method on, then everything is just like on repeat. You understand the question, you know what you need to do, and there's like just create the tables and do the calculations around the table. So maybe on the next one we can go back to doing any type of DAX methodology, so you can get different flavors of it. And see how that goes. Another thing we could do is just to have a large data set and to see maybe not who has the fastest, or why not who has the fastest DAX query. Oh my God, that would be a nightmare to create, for sure. Yeah, I have to think about it. But I am extremely happy that so many of you actually finished. Congratulations to everybody that has the 25 right. Congratulations to all of you that participated throughout, especially that actually stuck with it and did it, because it's an excellent way to learn. And I will see you again next week with a Power BI video. I haven't decided yet what it's going to be, but it is Friday. Is getting late. Not in Spain, I know, but in the rest of the world, it's getting late. So I will see you again next week. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me, and bye bye.